I'm Kristi Pelzel, Senior International Correspondent for Today News Africa in Washington, D.C. Joining me is a very special guest, Ertharin Cousin. Ms. Cousin is a global agriculture, food security, and nutrition solutions thought leader. She's currently serving as a Richard von Weizsäcker Fellow of the Robert Bosch Academy. She's a distinguished fellow at the Chicago Council on Global Affairs and a visiting scholar at Stanford University's Center on Food Security and Environment. She's also a CEO and the founder of Food Systems for the Future, a nutrition impactment investment fund. She was also formerly the executive director of the World Food Program and U.S. ambassador to the United Nations Food and Agricultural Agencies. Among other titles and accolades like Forbes Top 100, her experience in global food sustainability is extensive, and we are so excited that we have her today. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for this opportunity.
The 2021 UN Food Systems Summit is coming up in September, and you are part of the Champions Network. So tell me what that means and what type of role you have in the summit this year.
This is an opportunity for us to bring the world together in what the Secretary General has called the People's Summit, an opportunity for us to, as a global community, to define what are the game-changing, transformational activities that we as a community must perform, invest in, and deliver to ensure that we can create a food system that supports the environment, that ensures access to affordable food to support the health of the entire global community, and also provides for the equitable economic opportunities for all actors across the food system, from those who work in our fields to those who sell us our food in the grocery stores.
Especially across Africa, is the situations within their country, which is internal conflict, external conflict, corruption, severe climate change. There's people in these pockets around the continent that cannot really benefit from innovation, cannot really benefit from some good project because there's so many other things that need to get fixed first. How do you overcome those hurdles?
Well, that's a big question that you just asked. And you overcome those hurdles by recognizing, first of all, that the economic history of every country that has grown from emerging economies to more robust economic opportunity for their countries has always been built upon creating durable agriculture systems, efficient and productive agriculture systems. And so the recognition by the governments in each of those countries of the need for investment in agriculture and food systems is quite critical to ensuring that you build the ecosystem policy space to support the investment and new tools that are coming online. You're absolutely right. If you don't have systems in place to support the access of new tools by those who are your agricultural workers, producers, and business owners in a country, then they cannot benefit. But particularly when you're talking about Africa, there are 52 countries in Africa, and each one of them is quite different, as you know. And so the opportunities are quite different. But what we do know is that regardless of the context, the need for providing new tools, including access to better seeds, access to better irrigation systems, access to better planting methodologies, access to the infrastructure support that is necessary to support the market developments that will ensure the not just productivity, but economic opportunity from food systems is quite possible in each of these countries.
Leading up to the summit, I've spoken to quite a few people at a grassroots level, at an on the ground level. These are farmers and even herders who are innovating everything from like braille manuals to all kinds of things. And so some of them are going to be at the summit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at how can I take this idea and make it scale across my country, but they're feeling like there's a lot of bottlenecks. So can you give any advice in terms of, expectations for when you have an idea and then you're able to disseminate that idea to support your country? What should people be thinking about?
Well, local is key here. The many of the actors and operators, when you say a people summit, want to bring their ideas to the world. Bring the ideas to your community first, to your nation first, and grow them there. And then with the proof of concept of those ideas, grow them in your region, grow them on your continent, and then grow them to the world.
You're able to really refine what it is that you're going to be bringing to someone to scale. So that's great advice. I was looking at your website before this interview and I saw this quote. It said, "Global food systems are failing low income and underserved communities." I'm taking that out of context, obviously. But when I saw that, I thought, wow, that's not even a quote. That's like become the status quo, because it seems like in some pocket or another in the world, we always are not fully serving these underserved communities. And maybe we need to just reframe the idea of the quote end world hunger, and maybe we need to have a different expectation of let's raise the floor on world hunger so that we can start feeling like we're meeting goals. I don't know, what do you think about that?
Well, I'd make the change as well from end world hunger to end world hunger for all. Because the challenge is, we talked about innovations and new tools coming online. We talked about the progress that was required to create sustainable food systems. But the challenge is, too often, when investments are coming online to support new tools, new innovations, new foods, they come online for affluent farmers, or they come online for affluent consumers. And they're out of reach for the low income and for those in underserved communities. And so what we need is to make the effort to ensure that when investments are made, that those investments include the opportunity for participation by those serving in or those living in underserved areas, those who would be seen as too much of a risk because of their geography, or too much of a risk because the market is low income and I can turn a faster profit by marketing to a higher income community. Think about this. And this is what we are working to do at Food Systems for the Future. Think about if we could catalyze the capital stack of investment that an entrepreneur is seeking when they are scaling a new business. If we could capitalize if we could catalyze that capital stack by bringing in money that was directly related to that business, building markets that included low-income people, we could begin to change how money drives business development.
What does Food Systems for the Future do in Africa?
We are two teams, one in the United States, two operating teams, one in the United States, one in Africa. The Africa team is situated in Rwanda, working with the Minister of Agriculture as well as other ministries across the government. And what's really exciting, entrepreneurs across the country in the poultry space. While we talk about the consumption of less animal-based protein in the developed world, in places like Rwanda, we need increased consumption of animal-based protein. And so identifying opportunities for creating businesses that can make animal-based protein, particularly through poultry and eggs, more affordable and available to the Rwandan population, and addressing the issues related to malnutrition of children as well as to pregnant and lactating women is a significant opportunity that we've embraced. Our goal is to scale this up to ensure that we create a fund that will provide capital as well as the wraparound services that I described to increase the opportunity for financial return as well as for nutrition impact for market-based businesses across the agricultural value chain.
That's fantastic. I feel like many people are going to want to talk to you about this at the summit, because if you can get that going and then scale it and start launching it in other countries, because you have this model to go off of, that could be really impactful. Really,
I'm excited, and Rabobank, which is the largest agricultural bank in the world, has been a partner of ours from the very beginning, helping us design and develop the program for the last 2 years. And as we begin the launch of our first raise for sub-Saharan Africa, as I said, in Rwanda in particular, I am looking forward to having all those conversations with anyone who's interested to help us build this new tool for growing market-based enterprises on the continent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
It's been a great pleasure. Thank you for this opportunity.